You want me to put that on my Tudor?
This one's wife. Hey, look, it's Archie. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The dynamic that takes place between a parent and a child, where the parent is a narcissist, is a very interesting one. The child is a non-intimate secondary source in the fuel matrix of that parent. The child is easy to control, especially when they're young. They're reliant upon that parent for somewhere to live, to be fed, to be clothed, etc. They're physically incapable of being able to resist the control that would be asserted over them by simply picking them up and moving them around. They provide fuel. The narcissist can use the child for residual benefits, such as the facade, portraying themselves as a good parent to the outside world. As a child gets older, their achievements can be commandeered by the narcissist by way of character trait acquisition. Commonly, I'm asked, does the narcissist love their child? The short answer is no. Devoid of emotional empathy, the narcissist doesn't love anybody. And even though they can create the appearance of loving their child, they do not. You can learn more about this in a more expansive dissection of the relationship between the narcissist parent and their child in my video, Do Narcissists Love Their Children? The child is there to be used as an object by the narcissist. In relation to this one's wife, the two children that purportedly exist have generated different schools of thought. First of all, there are those that firmly believe that the children do not exist at all, and that other people's children are utilised for the very occasional appearance that Archie and Lilibet make, and that it's all part of a con generated by this one's wife for the purposes of either controlling Harry or looking to gain benefits vis-à-vis the royal family. There are others that believe that in actual fact the children do exist, but they came from a surrogate, and that raises question marks in relation to the line of succession. And then there are others who believe that the children do exist and that this one's wife gave birth to them. One of the peculiarities that does lend itself to the increased speculation is the fact that the children are very rarely seen. There have been photographs, there have been some pieces of video which were strictly controlled as part of the Harry and This One's Wife series, that pictures are infrequently released of them, and in some instances people have stated that they have seen differences. You are, of course, entitled to your own views in that regard, but one of the key questions that often emerges is this: why are the children hardly ever seen? On the one hand, there are those that say, well, it's simply because they don't exist, so therefore how can they be seen if they don't exist? And it's the case that Harry and This One's Wife have to bring in the child models here and there for the sake of appearances. The other alternative, which is more likely, is that they do exist, and as I've explained to you previously, the reason they are not seen is either as a consequence of the fact that they're just not seen as photogenic enough with regard to This One's Wife, given that she's a somatic narcissist, or more likely, if they were seen, all the attention would be on them and not her, which of course undermines her as a narcissist. The fact that she cannot stand for other people to have the limelight. We've seen the instances where her facade has slipped when somebody else has been speaking to Harry and not to her. We've seen the instances where she's grimaced, the clenched jaw, the rapid blinking that has taken place as her narcissism reacts to the threats to control that it has experienced. Imagine if she made frequent appearances with the children, that she was there on the ski slopes with them when they went to Whistler, that she was there with them at the events that they used to attend with the royal family, that they are there when she goes shopping at a farmer's market, that they are there when she goes out for lunch or for dinner, that she's seen playing with them, seen on the beach, seen in and around Monty Shit Show, but it never happens. And the two likely reasons for that are as a consequence of the fact that she would struggle to control them, And furthermore, that attention would be on them, and she would hate that. Nevertheless, she still, notwithstanding the frequent speculation as to the existence of the children, utilises them here and there. This, of course, actually works against her. But once again, because her narcissism focuses on the now, it has no due regard for the collateral consequences. What it ends up doing is that it causes her to use the children to try and generate a response and interest in relation to her, to help her manage the facade surrounding her being a supposedly wonderful mother, as she keeps telling everybody that's what she is. And yet, the children are hardly ever seen. And thus, if there is an instance of mentioning them, rather than people go, oh, isn't that cute and delightful, people say, but why are they hardly ever seen? The question becomes raised again, threatening her need for control. And she's at it again, this time as reported by Scarlett O'Toole in the Mirror. This one's wife sweetly kisses Prince Archie. Well, have we got a recent photograph that has been released? Has she been seen perhaps out on the street with him, going for a walk and picking him up and giving him a kiss? According to the report, this one's wife gently kissed her son, Prince Archie, in a heartwarming moment which was caught on camera and shared with fans. In a throwback snap, yes, bringing up the past to control the now, which was shared on This One's Wife and Prince Harry's Netflix docuseries, the Duchess of Sussex was seen planting a kiss on Archie when he was a baby. Thus, they're bringing up an event that took place several years ago that was shown in a series some 15, 16 months ago. It isn't a recent appearance by Archie. It isn't a recent showing of him or photograph, but rather a particularly old photograph that was shown in a series, and it's brought up again. Thus, she does this for the purposes of generating a response to create fuel to keep people talking about her. But all it will actually do is cause people to say, oh, look, yet again, another picture about Archie that is years old. Where are some recent pictures? Why do we never see him? And thus the questions will be asked. The article continues by explaining the Duke of Sussex made sure to capture the precious moment on camera. In the snap, this one's wife looked beautiful, wearing a white dress with paisley blue pattern. Note, of course, it has to be about her. Archie was seen reaching up to his mum and holding her face as he kissed her. The tot looked adorable, dressed in a white shirt and matching silk jacket. We're then given information about where Archie lived, at Frogmore, and then moved to Vancouver Island, and then he moved to Monty Shitshow. And then we're told about, of course, Princess Lilibet. And we're then told the adorable snap of Archie and This One's Wife was not the only picture fans were treated to in the Netflix docuseries. So once again, something that took place 16 months ago has been resurrected by This One's Wife via this newspaper for the purposes of drawing fuel. She just cannot help herself with regard to the necessity of putting herself in the public eye, and of course her children are used to do that because that's what they're simply there for. They're appliances like anybody else to be utilised by the narcissist. And yet again, there's no new information about the children. It's bringing up the past to control the now, which only leads to people asking, where are those children? It becomes self-defeating. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.